Guten Tag, alles. Today is another live German lesson. Today is November 7th, so we're continuing vocabulary that we had looked at the previous times for the singular form, he, she form for talking about family and friends. And we're going to talk about today the plural form. So we can see these forms in the plural, and also looking at some of these expressions and the conjugations for that. So I'm going to get started here with a screen share and see that you can see this Google document with the vocabulary. So I think you can see that now. So I'm going to move over here. So this was from the previous time, the husband, wife, son, daughter, brother, sister, boyfriend, girlfriend, father, mother, friend. So we're using mine for the masculine singular and meine for the feminine singular. And in the plural, we're going to use meine. And sometimes with these different nouns, we might have a umlaut, these two little dots that are on top of the vowel sound. So we can see that in Sonne, in Tochter, or Töchter, in Sonne, in Brüder. So my pronunciation is not the best, unfortunately, but we can go through these, and I would recommend working with a native speaker to practice listening to these recordings and practicing the pronunciation. So my sons, meine Söhne, my daughters, meine Töchter, my brothers, meine Brüder, my sisters, meine Schwestern, my friends, meine Freunde, my friends who are female, meine Freundinnen, my parents, meine Eltern, my cousins, meine Cousins, my cousins female, meine Cousinen, and my grandparents, meine Großeltern. For those. Okay, so we're having meine in the plural there, and some of these plural in German, there are rules for different groups. Sometimes you have the letter N here for the like you can see in the feminine. Sometimes you have the N in other forms as well. So you probably want to look at some dictionaries to see what the plural form is, because sometimes it might not be so predictable. You need to learn through looking at lots of examples to see that. But this is just one group of examples that we can use here for talking about people. So if I had a picture or I was introducing my friends and family, I could say das ist mein Bruder, das ist meine Schwester, and talk about a picture of them. When I have them in the plural, I am using das sind. So sind is the plural form from the verb to be, sein. So das sind meine Brüder. So this U is a little different from the U. Again, my pronunciation is not the one you should be copying here, but so I would recommend working with a native speaker. Das sind meine Schwestern. Das ist ein Bild von meinen Brüdern. So you can see this change of meinen, that's the dative, because we have the preposition von, and this requires the dative. So the dative in the plural has meinen and Brüdern. So we have this N and this N that are added here. And das ist ein Bild von meinen Schwestern. So I have this letter N that is added there for the dative. So if I were just pointing at people in a room, I could say, das sind meine Brüder, das sind meine Schwestern. But if I had a picture of them, I could show a language exchange partner, or even in live, I could show them a picture of these people if they were not present in a room. Talking about their likes and interests. So I would use like mag or lebt, and again, the expression gerne. In the plural, I would be working with Sie mögen lesen, Sie leben fürs Reisen, was machen Sie gerne? So I don't have a difference between masculine plural and feminine plural. They're both just Sie. Other languages like Spanish and French have a difference for like él or il or ellos, ellas, but German just has this one form sie, just like in English you have the one form they. And again, we're using gern, gerne, with a lot of these verbs, and the en is for this plural form. So mögen, leben, machen. For that, okay. And then people's origins. So before we had ist, von, or kommt aus, and in the plural form we have, where is this here? Okay, we have sind and kommen. So sie sind von Berlin, sie kommen aus München, sie sind von. So I don't have a change for this masculine or feminine plural, so I could just delete these, which probably would simplify this a little bit, not to confuse you. And again, this woher kommen Sie, this doesn't change there. And Sie leben in, this doesn't change for the third person plural. And I'll just simplify this as well, wo leben Sie, because that doesn't change. I could see that there could be confusion with Z, like the capital S, which could be the U formal form. So woher kommen Sie and woher kommen Sie, it, just by listening to it, you wouldn't hear a difference between, are you talking to somebody formally, or are you talking to somebody about other people? So if I asked like, you, Herr Schmidt, woher kommen Sie? So that would be a capital S for the Z, and I would be talking to Herr Schmidt formally. But if I talked to Herr Schmidt about his parents, I could ask, woher kommen Sie? So I wouldn't hear a difference between woher kommen Sie and woher kommen Sie. It would be the context that would determine if I was talking to somebody formally or talking about other people in the third person. Also, because of this kommen, I would know that the Z is not she in singular. So if I had woher kommt Sie, if we go back to the singular here, up here, it was woher kommt Sie. This would be the singular. So I would hear that T, kommt, and I would know I was talking about Z for she. But if I had this kommen, I know that this kommen, I'm not talking about she. I'm not talking about a singular woman. So I know that I'm either talking to somebody formally, you formal, or I'm talking about they, a group of people. So the context will determine this, but this is one particularity of German language, that this Z, if you just hear the word Z, you may have a doubt about if it is she, you formal, or they. So it's just a lot of listening practice, a lot of kind of practicing with native speakers and going through that material. Okay, and talking about where they live, Sie leben in, and asking question, wo leben Sie? Once again, I wouldn't know if wo leben Sie could be you plural, you like formal, or talking about this in the they form. Okay, if somebody is married, the adjective here is verheiratet, and in the this plural, it still doesn't change. It's Sie sind verheiratet, and because we don't have those change for masculine, feminine in the plural, I will just simplify this for these questions and for these negative, because it's just the same form. No use in changing this, because if it were Spanish or French or Italian, yes, these would change. You can see what we've done before with the change for the adjective, or the change for the verb, or the subject pronoun. But here in German, it's just very simple here. So Sie sind verheiratet, sind Sie verheiratet, and Sie sind nicht verheiratet. And sorry for my pronunciation on that word. I've been butchering it a little bit. Okay. If people have children, we would have in the singular hat or sie hat, but in the plural, we just have sie haben. And once again, I will simplify this a little bit for you, so because it's not changing, so there's no need to complicate things if it's the same. So Sie haben zwei Kinder, Haben Sie Kinder? Sie haben keine Kinder. So that's just very simple. They have 2 children. Do they have children? And they don't have children. And maybe asking these names, I could use in the singular, we have, where was it? Sein Name ist, or heißt. And in the plural, I would be using, where is it here? Ihre Namen sind, or sie heißen. Once again, I can just simplify this, and because there's no change on the masculine plural or feminine plural. So ihre Namen sind, or sie heißen. Was sind ihre Namen? Wie heißen sie? So once again, I can't hear the difference between wie heißen sie if I'm talking to Frau Schmidt, or talking about Frau Schmidt's children, wie heißen sie? So the context will help you determine this, if you're talking about you formal or talking about the third person plural of they. And lastly, about people's ages, we have ist and wie alt ist or wie alt ist sie. And in the plural, we have sie sind 10 Jahre alt, sie sind 20 Jahre alt. And again, this question doesn't change, so I will just simplify this, and we'll say wie alt sind sie for that. Okay, so just to kind of practice some of these expressions, I could say like ich habe einen Bruder. Yeah, I have a brother. Heißt Jason. Wohnt in Chicago. Kommt aus New York. Ist verheiratet. Hat 2 Kinder. Sie haben, sie sind 12 und 10 Jahre alt. They are 12 and 10 years old. Sie spielen gerne. They like to play mit Legos. And yeah, das ist alles. Yeah, that's all. Ich habe auch eine Schwester. I have a sister. Sie wohnt in Kalifornien. Sie hat einen Sohn. She has a son. Ist 19 Jahre alt. Und meine Schwester ist verheiratet, so she's married. Das ist alles. So that's all. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you like these videos, please like, share, comment, and feel free to leave a comment with some practice expressions describing one of your family members or one of your friends, and we'll relay some of these questions to get feedback from native speakers. And thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next time. Take care.